right. Whew. Oh, let me clean my camera lens. That's a little better. What a beautiful day. A little 9 a.m. Little 9 a.m. fun action. Whatever that is. Anyways, yesterday when I was letting my car sit there, I was noticing a bunch of oil here and here, and I got down and looked, and there was a bunch of oil here and all over here, and it looked like it was coming from up here. So I'm going to figure out what is going on with this oil leak. And also, I was thinking last night about this belt. It might be the alternator belt. It feels pretty tight. I don't know, I'm gonna take a look at that when I'm down there. This guy, I got the was it JB Weld on here. Let it sit overnight, so now it's nice and hard on there. So when I go to put this guy in, it should just create its own. If that doesn't work, then I'll have to tap that hole. But I don't want to tap the hole because let me shut off the NPR. I don't want to tap the hole because of the metal shavings. Obviously, you don't want metal shavings in your thing. So I'm gonna try the JB Weld on here. As you can see, it just spinning. So I've got the oil pan. Try to figure that out. I'm gonna look inside the belt housing to see if there's anything in there. There's also some oil down here after I cleaned the last couple of times. I'm really trying to figure out, I think it might be coming from the O-ring up here, but it's completely dry under there. So, well, not completely dry, but... Alright, yeah, so I'm gonna get down here and figure out what's going on, and we'll see what else we can do. Also, I was thinking last night about these guys, these fog lights, about how I could bring this all the way up to here and come across and then come down and then use I don't know where I put it, but the door trim stuff, this stuff, these black lines, I could put that over here like this, like I was originally gonna do. It's just nice, it looks nice, it's good quality stuff. So, and then I can cut that out and it won't look so weird because I'll have the trim on there. So yeah, that's another thing I'm gonna do too. So I got the, figure out the oil, figure out the belt, get this guy on there, figure out those guys. I gotta do all this in a couple of hours because I got some plans this afternoon. So see if I can get it done. Alright, so getting down here, I'm noticing, so I've got a lot of oil up here on the bottom of the pan. Which makes me think, see a drip there. That could just be coming from over here and migrating its way down to there, because in there I don't see any oil. But like right there, it's obviously a grip of oil. And you can see it coming down. Coming from somewhere, and it's obvious it's oil, it's not transmission fluid, but it's definitely an issue at this point. So I'm gonna pull this pan or the flywheel cover and see what she looks like. All right, so getting this off, I'm sure you can see my fingerprint right there. That is a nice lovely wipe of oil and fibrous. It's not crazy, there's not like pools of oil in there, but that's definitely not something I like to see. It's probably leading to a little bit of clutch slippage. I'm on like my 4th year of this clutch, so I have a feeling it's getting down there. It's really getting down there. So I'm gonna have to, I'm not gonna worry about it too much right this second, because I think I'm gonna just order a new clutch. Yay, next project. How do you like that? For now, I'm going to try and get these bolts right. These oil pan bolts. See if I can't. Maybe they're a little too tight on the inside ones. I know I couldn't get to this one because of the exhaust. So I'm going to loosen that one and loosen a couple of the other ones from back up in there. Right, so looking up here, I got it all cleaned up. And I got them all loosed. And I'm looking up here. I'm just kind of cleaning up. I'm looking up here and I'm seeing drops of oil on the bottom of the blowback thing, on the bottom of my thermostat, on the bottom of this here wire loom right here. Looking up, I'm not seeing where it could be coming from. It has to be coming up higher, unless it's dripping down and flying back, hitting this, which is totally possible because this is completely covered, and then spinning and then getting thrown up into the or up into the engine bay, which is a lot more likely than the fact that I am leaking oil from above the thermostat somewhere. And it's not the distributor O-ring, if you're wondering, because that's brand new and I made damn sure it was good and good to go in there. If I had a nickel, I would say it wasn't the O-ring, but yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna keep cleaning and try and figure it out, but in the meantime, I'm gonna get these back hand tight and get the flywheel guard back on. Alright, alternator belt was very loose, so I tightened these bolts, got it nice and firm back there. This belt ain't going anywhere. Now both belts are nice. I actually pulled on this belt and it went and it just slipped and nothing moved, so that was pretty obvious to me that that was too loose. Alright, next thing. Alright, just put that bolt in there. It seemed to tighten down really nicely. Didn't go quite flush, but the gasket's there, so that's fine. It looks like the other ones didn't go quite flush either, which is nice. Hopefully that'll hold. Alright, oil pan taken care of. I think what's up next here is this guy. Alright, so I'm getting a couple of bumps as I go, so I decided I was going to raise this up another 3 turns. So that's 12 turns off the 64 or 69 millimeters originally. As you can see, I'm kind of running out of room here, and I still only have about this much of a gap. When it's fully extended, it's down about that much, so it's getting close. But then as I was down here, I thought I'd check on the gas stuff, because I saw this puddle directly underneath the gas thing and it freaked me out. But then I remembered that I'm about 6 feet or 4 feet back from where the muffler was sitting, so that's just condensation dripping down from running the engine yesterday. I got no leaks up here. That wet stuff you see is just residual from leftover, that rubberized coating. Or this is the truck bed coating, not rubberized. Yeah, it looks nice and dry, not smelling anything. No gas smells or anything like that, so that's good. Everything seems to be tight down here. Looking good. Moving on with my life. Oh, that's what I was gonna do. As I'm taking these guys off, I'm getting rid of the freebie ones, the shitty freebie ones, and I'm going to be installing extra air quotes for that one. These guys, my nice ones. These guys are super light, hollow. Put shit in there if I want. I was thinking about trying to find some kind of cap to put on there so people can't put something over it. But half of these are locking, half of them aren't. But yeah, these guys, really nice. Obviously, Mishimoto makes some good shit. Not the best stuff, but for the price point, it's really good. But so yeah, I'm gonna throw my tires back on and do that. Put these guys on and yeah, get it back on the ground. Ready on there. In case you're wondering how much they stick out, not very much at all. Definitely not farther than the rim, which is cool. It's cool. One thing I will say about them is the acorn part of it, the inside, is the exact diameter of this. So there was, when I was putting them on, there was no wiggle back and forth through them. It was straight up, like, the only one way this is going on there, and it's very tight, good fit. Very happy with this purchase. Alright, so up next, I started making this little template here for up front. I just drew the bottom line, kind of where I thought it might be. Checked it, realized I was under where I wanted to be. Drew another line, and then I kind of curved the edges just, but as you can see, on the inside there, the length is about the same. Looks a little different on video than it does on camera, but that's about perfect. Once again, the Amazon box template, because I use this one to make the little holes through here. So my Amazon box, I might save this one, go in the Hall of Fame of my car here. So yeah, I'm gonna cut this out and draw it onto the thing and see what it looks like. All right, they are cut out. Looking good. Now I just gotta like, actually maybe I'll cut that back a little bit, straighten them out. I want to get these edges straight, and then I'm gonna file these off real quick, or rather sand them down with a barrel sander. So see what that looks like in a second here. I got them all cleaned up. Dug out the inside pretty good. I had to get it nice and thin in there. You can see how thick it was, versus how I had to thin it down so I can get the actually I still got to thin this side down a little bit right there, or else I can't get the side molding or the door trim on there. But yeah, looking good. Right. All right, they're on there. I got the zip ties holding them on the corners until the glue, the adhesive sets in there. But dang, I'm very happy with how that turned out. I have to drop it on the ground and see if the lights will shone through. Oh, nice. I love it when I drop my shiny stuff on the concrete floor. So yeah, sweet. Can't wait to see what these look like out in the real world. Hey, got the car pulled out. See what she looks like. Oh, you really can't even see that, huh? Oh, I can't. Kinda can. Hey, just the lighting's messed up on the camera. But I'm happy with how that looks. Now I gotta check functionality. Oh, I hope this works, because if it doesn't, I'm out of room to fuck with it. Oh, hell yeah. That's way better than I was even hoping for. Oh yeah, that's where it's at. That's a money shot. Yeah, buddy. Oh, I'm so happy that's working out. Tighten the alternator belt. Seems to have been the issue. I got some spoke gauge. I wonder where that's coming from. I don't know. I had the oil cap on. I added a bunch of Marb's mystery oil. But definitely get a burning oiling smell. I'm gonna try and figure out where that's coming from right there. Alright, so now that I got the alternator belt tightened down, I've been having a battery issue. I thought it was the amplifier. Turned down the gain a little bit and all that jazz. But seeing how loose that belt was today, I'm thinking that was probably my culprit. So I'm gonna get this guy hooked up and see where I'm at. Well, I'd like to see it charging at 14.2, but I'll take 13.6. Yeah, I mean, hey, charging is charging. That's all that really matters. I know there's a lot to take care of on this thing. Maybe if I see if I got anything on in here. Oh yeah, the floodlights. Let me turn those off, see where it goes to. It popped up a little bit. About 10/100ths. Nothing crazy. Alright, sweet. Alright, geez, I don't even know how long it's been. Probably about 3 weeks. I started some new schooling, so I've been dealing with that. But in the meantime, I've been having an issue with this fucking oil leak. Can't stop, won't stop. And the other day I got down here and I tightened these all up, thinking that maybe it was the solenoid gasket. Got that all tightened up, still nothing. What's leading me down the old rabbit hole here is that everything is wet down there, up, and you keep going even down here on that transmission bolt there's wetness, and that's where it all seems to come from, is right down in there. So I'm looking, I'm thinking it's like the solenoid, or maybe it's the O-ring, or something's coming out down there. But as I'm looking down here, it all looks pretty dry and good, and it all seems to be coming from like right here. And I'm sitting here staring at it like, what the hell? Why could there possibly be an oil leak from right there? Oh yeah, Maybe it's because I never bothered to pull that broken bolt out, of which that one broke, and that one broke, and that one broke. I'm hoping not to have to take this off. I think, I'm not worried about taking the valve cover off. I'm worried about taking off the valve train. Yeah, getting down in there. I'm gonna give it the old college try with a screwdriver, something I can fit in there, and maybe tap it a couple times like an impact driver, and see if I can't back it out and go to the store and get something new. Because this keeps happening right here. So, yeah, you can see I have actually a little collection of those. So, I will be going to the store and grabbing some of those, but it all depends on if I can get that out, so I don't have to pull it all off, which isn't that big of a deal breaker, because I want to do a valve stem adjustment again. And yeah, I think this might help me out with quite a few of my problems here. I'm having a little bit of clutch slippage, so I'm thinking I'm gonna have to pull the thinking I got a bunch of I got a whole bunch of oil dripping down there, going onto the flywheel guard, in between the flywheel guard, and landing inside the casing on the back side. I have a feeling that some of that has to do with oil, or the slippage that I'm feeling. Yeah, but I do want to replace my clutch anyway, so maybe I'll hold off on that. Yeah, maybe I'll do that next week. I'll order the parts and get a new clutch going, and I can do the new oil pan and a new oil pan gasket. That'll be like the 6th one I put on this thing. Gasket, that is. It's only going to be the 4th pan. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and figure this guy out and see if I can't put it into this video that I started like 5 weeks ago. Oh, that is not working. I've tried Phillips, I've tried flathead, I've tried short, I've tried long. Hammering her in there. I just don't want to hammer too hard because I don't want to like warp the head at all. So I'm trying to be careful. Okay, just see I'm making some progress. I really don't want to take all that apart though. It's like not on the agenda for today, but I might have to do it. We'll see. I'll give it 5 more minutes of messing with it. Nope, not happening. All right, let me roll this bad boy back a bit here. Get a little further. Still close the garage. Yeah, still close the garage. Give myself plenty of room to work here. All right. Yes, first things first, get rid of the spark plugs and work my way gingerly towards the take off valve cover and start plugging this stupid light in. There we go, shed a little light on the subject. Yeah, so I'm just going to go ahead and pull the valve cover, pull the distributor, and yeah, get down and pull the rocker arms and just get down to business. Curious as to how my JB weld turned out. I said, you just got in the oil. I didn't fucking do nothing. It's like no threads on there. Sorry, you might want to see it. It's just flat. Guess that didn't do shit. It's probably why I just spun in there. Anyways, alright. So, before I pull this rocker arm, I reckon I should probably get it at top dead center. So let me pull this guy off and pull the spark plugs and get top dead center. Oof, look how nice and shiny that is. I like opening up a engine and seeing a bunch of silver there. Let's see. Spark plugs in order here. I'm not seeing anything insane. A little more darker than I'd like to see, but I mean, it's got almost 300 miles, I think, since the rebuild. The cylinders, I don't know what you can see. That looks pretty good. It's got a little carbon on top, but there's no standing oil or anything like that. Looks pretty good. Good and dry in there. That's the big thing. As long as it's dry, I can deal with a minor bit of carbon. Ooh, yeah, you can see little better what I'm getting at. I'm trying to clean up all this Permatex left over from the gasket here. That's the one I replaced before. So yeah, that's the one I guess I'll be replacing again. Yeah, buddy. I might actually have one in one of these long bolt drawers here. I have quite the plethora. Maybe I'll use that gold one. Lord. Yeah, so God, you know, that is like the fucking last thing I want to do. Just take that thing off of there. Oh, what a huge pain in the ass. What a huge pain in the ass. Alright, anyways, getting to Alright, as you can see, progress. God, my hands are slippery, just about dropped my phone. Don't need that. Yeah. Got this guy off. It's shocking how quickly I can do this. It's just ridiculous. Quickly looking at the lobes. Some photographic evidence here. Not seeing any kind of scarring, scraping. There's a little bit of like alloy, you know, sheen, I guess you could say. God, that is fucking sharp, man. Those cam lobes are fucking sharp. Alright, yeah, that's there's my beautiful bolt right there. I gotta figure out how I'm gonna deal with that without getting any of the little metal shavings. Oh, I see a lot of toilet paper in my future. Alright, yeah, buddy. I was quickly looking. You notice that all my valve keeps are still there. That one does not look like it's sat properly. Must be the lighting. Look like it's sticking way up, but it's just cleaner on top. Which probably means that if it's shinier than the rest, they're all pretty shiny. Oh yeah, they're brand new. That's why they're all shiny and nice. So yeah, all right. First things first, I'm going to attack this guy. I am going to get that out of there, no problem, easy peasy. I've never had a problem with a bolt in my life, so that should be no problem. I'm learning good dad jokes from my instructor on my Zoom classes. Yeah, going into manufacturing academy. Hey, yeah. So get that sucker out of there. Gonna, what's the word I'm looking for? Torque wrench. I'm gonna use both these just to make sure that I got the right torquage on all these. Nothing's loosened up or anything like that. Everything else looks pretty good, clean. I'm not seeing any issues. No major metal chunks or anything. I am still seeing a little bit of residual darkness in oil. You can tell that some of the assembly engine oil got in there. The assembly lube that I put on the lobes and whatnot had got on there. Yeah, I hurry up and do this before I get a bunch of shit in there. Alright, I got dammed up pretty good, about as good as I'm gonna get it, really. It sucks. What am I gonna use? Speed outs. These guys have failed me every time I've tried to use them, and they're extremely hard to open. Oh, nope, open easy that time. See how many of these I've broken. 1, 2. I'm not sure which one I'm gonna use. Something like that. I don't know. I guess try a couple of them. Maybe drill one side and then shoot with the other. Let's see. Alright, so you can kind of see. Let's see where I'm at. I got a little bit down in there. You can tell depth-wise. Oh, there you can. What I tried was these guys up to the next level. It wasn't working for me. By the way, these cold bolt things, if you want to have some fun, just let one of these go. It's the shittiest design. Fucking twice, 3 times it flew all over the damn place. Like, what are you thinking? Spring loaded? Get out of here. Fucking Lowe's. Anyways, So yeah, I went through, found a little tiny drill bit, about that size. I don't know what that is, 80 something. And then I walked it up. Well, I hit it with a 21 real quick. I got these nice sharp, never used 21s. So I went ahead and did that guy up. God, I love these. Got that in there. Then went down another step to whatever size that is. To give myself a little bit of a conical shape to try and get this guy down in there. I don't know if this is going to be too wide. I was trying not to leave myself. You can see the size of the hole. I believe it to be different on this side than on that side. The entire diameter of the hole, yeah, is the inside diameter of that hole. Not the top inside diameter, but the inside diameter. As such. Anyways, so yeah, I'm going to go ahead and try this. Hopefully I didn't get the walls too thin on that old screw. Oh, about an hour and a half into this already. I want to add that this stuff is awesome. Yeah. I'm not going to put a link in the description because if you can't Google where to get that shit, then you probably shouldn't be tapping anything. Alright, well, none of those worked. Speed out sucks. So I guess I'm just going to have to, old-fashioned way, step it up. Smaller and then bigger and then bigger and then bigger. This is why speed out sucks. It does shit like that to you. Oh, I felt like it was going. I was barely putting any kind of torque on it and it just fucking snapped. Shit out. After 45 minutes of chiseling away at it. Fucking stupid piece of crap. You are going in my drawer, my oubliette. My oubliette for bad parts. Goodbye. Enjoy your time in purgatory. Fucker. Alright, where does that leave me? Back with a whole bunch of new scrapes. And it sucks. Yeah, I'm not sure how well you can see that. There's a bunch of fibers in there because I stuck a Q-tip down there, but I realized that the bottom fell out of it, and I can see a lot of the threads. So I'm going to do is run this guy through. This is the one that is not the super soft, super old bolts. This is one of the replacement ones. This is what I'm trying to get going in there, but so I'm going to try and run this guy through and see if I can't get it to kind of tap itself. Alright. Oofta. God damn. So I finally got that thing out. I drilled a little bit more into it just to see what I could manage down there. And well, that's what I managed. What I have here is known as a 1/4 inch ream and a 1/4 inch tapper. So what I'm going to be working on today, all my little tiny taps, some of my bigger taps. What's this guy? You can't see it. I heard too many taps. That's a 1/4 22. Maybe I'll just use that because it's flat. Got a flat one, flat 1/4 20, and a long 1/4 20. When I ordered the 1/4 20s, they sent me like 4 different kinds. When I ordered the 10, my initial thought was to go in here and see if I can't get a 1032 tap in there, and then I realized that I had a couple of taps that were larger. So I think I'm going to run this 1/4 inch in there. Hopefully, that is just barely going to fit. Just barely. See, I told you that thing had a wider ID. Anyways, alright. I'm going to try this. It took all about 2 fucking seconds. Because I had this jimmy rig system because I can't get down in there. You guessed it. Nice hardened steel. Right there. It's just like gets better and better and better. Better and better and better. Alright, well that came out shockingly easy. I just took a screwdriver, and a hammer, tapped it once, thing broke in half. I got lucky on that one. It was just the tip of it. But so what my plan is now, I forgot that I actually bought a tap handle. Yeah. So I have this other 1/4 inch, which is the first one I was going to use. But I also have the reamer, so I'm going to go ahead and just slowly, I already kind of started a little bit. I'm just going to kind of get it nice and perpendicular. And then just kind of rock it real slow. Kind of widen that hole so I can start to tap this guy. Where did it go? I don't even know what to do with it. Yeah, so I can start to tap this guy. But yeah, so I'm going to do that. Alright, looks like I got it. Where am I? I got it. It looks a lot crazier on film than it does down in there. But I've got it threaded 1/4 20. Most of the way down. All the way through its original threading, at least. To the point where I can at least get something on there. So now I'm going to go to the hardware store and see if I can't buy something. I'm going to have to measure the height of that post and the depth of that, which should be pretty easy because I have a micrometer that has a depth gauge on it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Alright, got 1/2 inch on that guy, and I got 1.2 on that guy. 1.27 actually, so 1 1/4, 1 1/2, so 1.75. 1 3/4 is what I'm my length I'm gonna need. So 1 3/4 times 1/4 20. Venture outward. Didn't you know I fucking walked all the way to the store, and it's like 7 or 8 blocks. It's like a good 1/2 mile. It's like 80 degrees outside, and that literally locking the door as I walked up. I love when people close early because it's slow on a nice day. Fuck you. Oof. Alright, back. God damn it, that was hot walk. Thermals. Top and bottom. 86. I don't know what my problem is. Anyways. Kind of dead in the water until I can go to the store and get that bolt tomorrow. Go back to the store. I can see from here that thing is tapped. Tapped. 1/4 20. 1 3/4 inch. That's all I need. My life will be complete. But for now, I'm just gonna call it a night. I got class early, so let's do it. Alright. 2 days later. I managed to get to the store when it was open. And I found myself some 1/4 20. Let's see if this guy fits, huh? Say a little prayer. Oh, she's going down. I think. Yeah, it's going down. I feel like some good crankage on that might actually make it work. Alright, so I guess the first thing I gotta do here is I can get that out. Just try and clean up some of these shavings without getting any to go in that hole. Basically just needed to not leave that little area. Look, I've got some high-powered magnets. One of which, maybe a little bit here, is sitting in here somewhere. It's in there somewhere. Grappling hook. There we go. Get past the grappling hook. And there it is. Big ass fucking magnet. Yes, this is for fishing. Magnet fishing. Which I've yet to do since I bought this thing. But I'll get on it. Hopefully. Oh god. Man, this thing is beefy. Strong magnet. Pinching hazard. Let's see if rating of up to 1,200 pounds, 550 kilograms does anything here. Give it a shot. I really don't want this to stick to anything other than... yeah, I didn't think... yeah, a little bit. We'll see if I can't get it to work, but I got some other options here. I used a little bit of this stuff. Went through quite a few Q-tips, just trying to get it emptied out and see what I could get. And then I used some CRC duster. That stuff's really cold. I burnt the bottom of my hand there. Freezer burnt trying to cover this. Trying to cover that and blow in there, and it burnt the back palm of my hand. You can see there's like no skin right there. That shit's dangerous. It should say on there that stuff's dangerous. Maybe cold. Moisture free compressed gas duster. Anyways, so I got that as cleaned out as I think I'm going to be able to get it and tapped. So now I'm going to go ahead and put the rocker arms back on. At least attempt to put them back on. Alright, went back on there pretty smooth, pretty easy. I did have to move the camshaft down. I was having a little bit of trouble. Just the cam had moved slightly over, so I had to bring it back slightly a little bit. But it's back on there, nice and flush, dropped in pretty good. Make sure I got all my rocker arms, my internal ones here set, and I got all my, whatever these guide clips are. I'm not sure what those are called. Yeah, so now I'm gonna start hand tightening these down, and then figure out where my order of operations for retightening. D16 right there. D16. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that and include these. Hopefully I won't have any problems, huh? Man, I did not check the inside diameter on this to see if a 1/4 would even fit in there. Oh, please fit. Oh, yes. That would have sucked. I would have had to fucking ream that out. At that point, I would have just probably bought a whole new fucking head. Replace the rocker arm. Yeesh. I think I should go to school to learn how to be a machinist, so I can just machine my own damn shit. Alright, everything's back on there. Nice and tight. Looks like everything is appropriate. So I'm going to go ahead and bolt the distributor back on. Put a little silicone here. Get that valve cover back on. Make sure I didn't leave any ratchets or anything. I checked the head bolts and they were good. And I almost left that sucker sitting in there, which not. I don't know if it would have done anything or not, but it's better to keep it out. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and button this up. Right, get everything back on there. Nothing left in there. Yeah. And I could start it up and check it out, but I don't really care. Everything's on there tight, and it's the best I can do. So if it doesn't work, then I guess I'm just screwed. But alright, I think I'm done with this video. Yeah, did a bunch of extra shit. Took like 3 weeks off. Did this. I don't really think I have much else going on with the car right this second. I gotta come up with some good stuff. I am gonna need to get a new clutch. So I'm gonna replace the clutch, the oil pan, and the pan. I might order that this week. I'll probably wait until next week. Other than that, yeah, I'm done. Hope you like this video. I guess you have to wait till the next one to find out if I blow this thing up. I've got this big spider here. Let's see if I can't trick him. A little stick. See if I can't trick him into thinking something's on here. Sleeping.